Hello, welcome to the Interior Design in One Point Perspective project. So I'm going to be showing you this in fresh paint. However, you can do this on real paper. It's easier for you to see what I'm doing if I do it in fresh paint. You are welcome to do it either in fresh paint like I am or on real paper with real pencil. So I'm in fresh paint. I'm going to open up my drawing drawer and grab a pencil. So first I'm going to choose this blue pencil just to show you my guidelines. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a straight line all the way across my screen. This is my horizon line. So this represents our eye level. So wherever you put that line across the page is where the viewer of your room will be seeing it from. So along that line somewhere, I want you to put a vanishing point. I'm going to put mine right in the middle. That is kind of the simplest place to put it. But if you're feeling adventurous, feel free to put it somewhere else along the horizon line. It just has to be on the horizon line. So now I'm going to switch to my gray pencil. So these are your guidelines. This isn't part of your actual drawing. They will be covered up in the end, but they're useful for you to understand how to draw this correctly. So I'm going to start by drawing a rectangle around my vanishing point. So this should be a kind of medium-sized rectangle. It shouldn't take up your whole paper and it shouldn't be super tiny. This rectangle is the back wall of the room that you're drawing. So you want to have space around it for your floor and your walls. Also, it's better to have more space below the rectangle than more space above it, because the top is the ceiling and you don't put a whole lot of things on your ceiling. So you want to have more space for the furniture and things in your room rather than seeing lots of ceiling. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw a straight line starting at my vanishing point straight through one of the corners of this rectangle and then continuing all the way to the edge of the paper. I'm going to do this for all 4 corners. And do this slowly and carefully. If you're doing this on real paper, I highly recommend using a ruler. You can get nice straight lines that go exactly where you want them to with the ruler. Oop, mine's a little off there. So I'm just going to undo that one, try it again. Right, so when I go too quickly, these lines can get pretty wonky. So take your time. Draw it as straight as you can. So now I essentially have a rectangle with an X through it. And now I'm going to take my eraser and I'm going to erase the X that is inside the box and leave just the lines that are outside my rectangle. And again, I know you can't see my hands, but I am using my fingers straight on the touchscreen of the computer. It's so much easier than using your mouse or your trackpad. So if you're using your mouse or your trackpad, stop, use your finger on your touchscreen. It'll come out better. So now that I've erased that X, you should be able to see this now as an empty room, right? So you're standing in front of the room, you're looking into it. That rectangle is your back wall. You have these 2 walls that are coming to either side of you as you stand in the room. So this is the basis for your room. You've got the skeleton of your room here. Now we're going to add in furniture. So to add in furniture, let's first get this guy out of the way. So everything is going back to that vanishing point. That is the kind of repeating idea here. We are using that vanishing point to establish what direction our lines are going. So you're going to start every object with the side of it that is facing you. So, for example, I'm going to draw, excuse me, let's start with a bed in the middle. So I'm going to start, let's say it's a bed that the footboard is facing me and it's up against that back wall. So I'm going to start with the part that's closest to me, that's facing me straight on. So that is going to be a rectangle. Its sides are going to be parallel with the edges of your paper. Oh, I need to switch my pencil. Okay. And you'll see sometimes I make a line and I don't like it and I erase it. That's okay. It's better to erase it as soon as you do it and fix it with the undo button down here, rather than waiting till later to use the eraser. So I didn't like how wonky that one was, so I'm gonna try to make it a little bit straighter. Okay, so now I have a rectangle. And you know, I also wanted to show you guys a trick. Forgot it over here. So if you're having trouble getting straight lines on your touch screen, again, if you're on paper, I highly recommend using a ruler. If you are on your touch screen, you can also use a ruler. If you don't have one, in either situation, you could use a piece of cardboard. For the touchscreen, paper is too thin, but if you use cardboard, you can actually place it on your screen and draw along the edge as a ruler. So I'm going to do this. Oh, gotta get my webcam. So I am placing my piece of cardboard from the vanishing point to that left corner of my rectangle. So if you want to use a piece of cardboard or a ruler, it can be a nice way to get an easy straight line. So I'm drawing straight lines from my corners to my vanishing point. Okay, so now I have kind of what looks like a rectangle with a triangle sitting on top. So we're almost there. Right now, I'm going to kind of highlight this line right here. So we are going to be making a line parallel to this one to create the top of the bed, the end that is up against that far wall. So I want to make a line between these two sides that are touching the vanishing point that is parallel to this blue one that I just highlighted. All right. So now essentially I have a rectangle under a trapezoid under a little triangle. And now I'm going to erase that little triangle. And I'm also going to erase this line of the floor that I've covered up with the bed. We can't see that anymore because it's under the bed. Right, so now I have the basis for my bed. Obviously this is just kind of a rectangle going back in space. I can add details. So I'm going to add a headboard here. Add a pillow. Add a blanket. Some fringe on the end of my blanket. And go back to that eraser because my pillow is covering up the end of my mattress, right? So now it looks like I've got a bed that's going back in space. So you're going to apply the same concept for all of your other objects and furniture in the room. I'm going to end this demo here. You will find another demo with more examples of different objects going back in space. See you next time.